Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPaWrites here once again, and today I have a brand new Destiny 2 video. This one going over the spoiler alert sidearm, and it's not going to be what you expect. We are actually talking about which character might bite the bullet in Destiny 2 Witch Queen expansion, and I'm going to go into that in a second, and I'm going to talk about who I think it's going to be, ranking some of the various characters. But if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Helps me out tremendously. We just hit YouTube partner, so all your support lately has been absolutely phenomenal, and thank you guys so much as we dive into more Destiny 2 content. Now, if you don't know, the text on spoiler alert says someone is going to die. Now, why is this interesting? Last time this gun appeared, it was the season before Forsaken, where obviously Cade 6 bit the dust, and now this has just been reissued right before the Witch Queen, and the speculation is that someone is going to die. Now, one of the Bungie devs has confirmed in an interview that this is not an accident. This came back for a reason, and I think it's going to put everybody on high alert, everybody on edge. We have Season of the Lost leading into the Witch Queen, and I think we're hinting at some of the people that might be in bad shape going into that expansion. First off, getting some folks out of the way, I wanted to talk about the old Drifter. I want to talk about Amanda Holiday. I wanted to talk about Soraya Hawthorne. I think they're all pretty much safe. Don't see them being the target of Savathun in any meaningful way, just because they don't seem to tie in as easily and be the characters that are most likely to kick the bucket. Continuing through the tower, we have Ikora Ray, who I don't think is super likely. Now, she is still the backbone of the Vanguard, and in my opinion is more necessary going forward than someone like even Zavala, who I know folks kind of can be hit or miss about, but I love Zavala. I think he's a better character than folks give him credit for. So yeah, I think Ikora is actually someone who we'll see stick around. She is not high on the list. I would say it's a 5 out of 10 option of whether she's the one that does end up kicking the bucket. We have other characters like Eva, like Rahul, like even Saladin or Shax. I don't think they're very likely at all, just because they're not really tied into the story. So while they're good characters, while Shax is someone that a lot of people love, they haven't really tied him in. They did put Saladin in the story a bit more, and I could see him going down eventually, but I don't think this is the expansion that they're going to do that. However, far more likely, in my personal opinion, and probably the top 3 of the most likely characters would be Zavala. Now, this would be heartbreaking for me personally. I love him as a character. I love his voice actor. I think he is everything a Titan should be. However, I think a change in leadership with the Vanguard would set the story in a whole new direction, and for that reason, and with how instrumental he's been with like Keitel and those kind of alliances, I think he is very, very likely to be one of those who does end up getting taken out in the Witch Queen, because I think it'd be not only emotional, but it also would be an easy way to drive the story forward, and I think that's why he's fairly likely, in my opinion, even if he's not the top choice. Then we've got Saint 14. Now, personally, this is the character I least want to be gone after Witch Queen. I love him. I think Saint 14 has developed well as a character, started to acknowledge some of his flaws and grow. We've seen that with his interactions with the Elixni, with his interactions with Crow. So I think him stepping in to help lead the Vanguard, even if they don't have a Vanguard trio like we've had in the past, I think Saint 14 sticking around would be awesome. I do not I really hope it's not him that does end up going the way of Cade 6, because I think there's a lot of room for his character to really develop, and we just brought him back a couple years ago, so I don't want that to be the case personally, but it still could happen. I'd put him on the same level as Ikora, just because story reason of him sacrificing himself for Osiris, Osiris and him kind of going down together. Both of those would be hugely impactful for the story, and I could definitely see it happening. Moving on to my man Crow, I don't think it's going to be his time yet. It's too soon. He just has been brought back. Much like Saint 14, I think his character development has been important to the story. Although, much like Saint 14, for the sake of the story, I could see him sacrificing himself and earning his full redemption arc by saving the Traveler or saving the Guardian, you know, and putting his life on the line for that. I think that's somewhat possible. Again, these are characters who I personally want to see more of, but very well could be kicking the bucket. Also, we've got Mara, who I don't think they're going to kill her off at this point. We've already seen her kind of quote-unquote die once, but I could see there's going to be a lot going on with her going forward. Now we've got obviously Savathun, but Osiris, that's a character who I think could be a red herring in that you assume that you're going to go rescue him, but I don't think so. I think Saint is going to have to learn to live a life without him, and I think he's going to be probably the second most likely to be gone after the Witch Queen. If I had to just guess at this point, I think either he's already lost and it's too late for him, or I mean, what better way for us to go through all this, try to save him, do our best, and then Savathun twists the dagger, takes him out, and Osiris is no more, which would be a shame. I liked Osiris, but with Sagira being gone, the writing is on the wall. I think eventually for him to also sacrifice himself and be kicked out of the big picture. So I don't think Spider would be one of the characters they would spoil as far as dying. However, I wouldn't be surprised also if he ends up getting taken out by Petra. I know the plan is for him to flee the Tangled Shore from Petra, and we know that the Tangled Shore is heading into the DCV, so they'll eliminate his character for now at least. They may keep him alive, keep him in the shadows, because he is very resourceful. However, I would not be surprised if Petra gets his ass and ends up taking him down personally. And I feel like that'd be a cool story mission in order to see that happening. Although, I know the Dreaming City is staying, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Petra is one of the characters who does get taken down as well, just because I feel like that could be a lesser character. Like if they take down a major character and a lesser character, someone like Petra could be the secondary character to go down as well. But those are dark horses. I don't really count that personally. I just thought it was interesting that we're probably going to see Spider go bye-bye in a way that hopefully is interesting, and we'll find out more in the lore, just like we did with Asher Mir and those folks when Beyond Light dropped. And to me, now we come to the most likely character to kick the bucket, Eris Morn. Now, obviously we have the Stranger and other characters like that as well, but for me, Eris Morn is the one who has been linked to the Hive and Savathun and the Hive Gods, all that kind of good stuff for so long. I'm surprised we haven't seen her more involved in Season of the Lost. I know the moon isn't going away, so they would have to get creative with a new vendor here. However, there have been heavy rumors that she is, in fact, linked already to Savathun in some way or one way or another. So who knows how accurate that will be. I know there's been some hints to it in the lore, but I think Eris Morn is the most likely character to sacrifice herself or get possessed, taken over, however you might see it, by the Witch Queen once that expansion does drop. Just to recap, I think most likely would be Eris Morn, Osiris, and then we've got Zavala. Other characters have a more moderate chance. I would love to see new characters introduced as well. There could be a surprise, like someone like Mithrax, but I think we've built the foundation for that. And I'm hoping that all of this leads to a kind of mega confrontation. And if we get a dope cutscene with us fighting next to the Elixni and the Cabal with Keitel, with all these allies that were kind of gathering together, the Awoken, all of that, the Techians, the witches that we freed, that would be sick. I feel like that's where this hopefully leads to, and ultimately we have one of our characters end up getting taken out by Savathun, and we go from there. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. Definitely let me know in the comments down below, who do you think is the most likely character to die in Witch Queen for Destiny 2? Do you think this is all kind of a red herring, so we get our expectations up on somebody dying and then they don't do it, or does somebody die and be brought back? There's a lot of ways they can go with the story. I think we're going to see some major changes with regards to the power structure of the Vanguard, with regards to how the characters interact with each other going forward, and this sounds like it's going to be a darker tone as we lead up into the final 2 expansions of Destiny 2 for this light versus dark saga. Anyway, my name is JoPaWrites. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you all later.